The overview of what I'm doing is I'm consolidating major college football to 80 schools, putting it into 4 regions consisting of 20 teams each. Each region has 4 divisions with 5 teams. There are 11 regular season games. So you play 3 cross-divisional games within your region. There'd be 1 protected rivalry outside your division within your region that you would play every year. And then there would be 4 divisional opponents that you'd play annually. So most teams would play 14 games. The 2 teams in the national championship would play a maximum of 15 to 16 games depending on where they seated in the playoff. So there would be a region playoffs consisting of 6 teams in each region, the 4 division champions, and the 2 wild card teams. Then the division champs would host a playoff game. The 1 and 2 seeds would get a first round bye and they would host in the second round. Then the teams that miss the playoff, they could have a senior day on the wild card weekend and play teams from the FCS, and all schools would get an additional home game. And then the championship week, all teams within the region would compete for bowl positions against the teams next to them in the region standings, and the champion would advance to the national championship semifinal against the other region champions. So it'd be kind of like the SEC championship. All of the SEC schools would go and play over the course of a couple days against each other, and then they would have the championship. I think that would be a great experience. I think Vanderbilt, Kentucky, and Ole Miss have never played in the SEC championship, and I've always heard that it's a great experience. Last time Tennessee went was in 2007, so it's a really rare opportunity, and I think it would be a great event. It'd be kind of like the college basketball conference tournaments where all fans get to come and watch all 20 teams play each other over the course of a few days. But this concept, it protects many historic rivalries and geographically grouped divisions, and it utilizes a dynamic scheduling algorithm for more competitive matchups. So here's what some of the regions look like. So this is the South, and I've got the Eastern Division that consists of the 3 big Florida schools, Miami, Florida, Florida State, and they're also with Georgia and Georgia Tech. And then we got Alabama, Auburn, LSU, Mississippi State, and Ole Miss. And then Clemson, Kentucky, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Vanderbilt. And in the West, you got Arkansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas, Texas A&M. And each school will have a rival outside their division that they'd play annually. So you get some great games. Tennessee and Alabama will still play every year. Miami and Oklahoma would start playing every year. Texas and Florida State would be a new rivalry. Those schools have never played each other before. So Auburn would still play Georgia every year. LSU would still play Florida every year. Then in the North, you got Michigan, Michigan State, Minnesota, Ohio State, and Wisconsin. And over in the East, you have Cincinnati, Louisville, and 3 schools in Pennsylvania. Then in the Central, you got schools in Illinois and Indiana. And then in the West, you have Iowa, Kansas, and Nebraska represented. Then in the East, you have division that's all North Carolina schools. And you have Central Division that's schools in Maryland, Virginia, West Virginia, and Northern Division that's New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts. And then the Southern Division, I put Air Force in there because Navy and Army are in this region, so I want them to play the other academies more frequently, and figured they don't mind flying. But then we got California Division, USC, UCLA, Cal, Stanford, and Hawaii. And then Pacific Northwest is represented with the Washington, Oregon, and Boise State. And then the Rocky Mountains are represented with Colorado, Utah schools, and Arizona schools. And then kind of the several schools from the Big 12 are over there in the Plains Division. So you get Texas Tech and TCU and Oklahoma State, Baylor. So you go and take Alabama, for example. Like Alabama would play one of the schools from the Western Division. They play one of the schools from the Mid-South Division, and then they play one of the schools from the Eastern Division, and then they play Tennessee every year, and then they play one of the schools from the other regions. And each division is guaranteed a playoff spot. So one of these schools is going to host a playoff, and you just have to be better than 4 other programs to be a part of the playoff. So I think that would be really exciting, and it would have the whole country involved.
What about Alabama and other?
So they are in the same division. They could both make the playoff. One of them could win the division, and then the other one be a wild card, or both of them could be a wild card if one of the other teams in the division had a great year and they all had really good records.